Right now, all across the state, our high school seniors are sending out their college applications. Our goal since day one of this administration has been to see more and more of these applications headed to admissions offices right here in New Jersey. As I've said more times than I care to count, we need to stop letting our high-achieving young people be one of our state's greatest exports. We want them to find the right college match here in their home state. And we want more out-of-state students to see the value of New Jersey higher education as well. Winning these young hearts and minds requires us to ensure that the programs they seek for their futures and themselves ready for the future of learning and the future of work. Whether it is a top-notch science lab, a state-of-the-art technology center, or merely a modern and safe library for studying, we need to make sure our campuses can compete at every level. And that includes in price. Every dollar we provide at the state level is a dollar that does not have to be tacked on to a tuition bill. This is how we ensure not only stronger facilities, but fairer costs for students and families. This is what these four funds are committed to doing. And we, in turn, are committed to them and to our colleges and universities. So whether it be here at Rutgers or at any one of our other four-year institutions or our tremendous county colleges, the investment in these revolving funds is an investment in college affordability and competitiveness. I'm proud that we are taking these steps today. Again, I thank the legislative leaders both here and not here, including Senator Sandy Cunningham, who chairs, Mila, your equivalent committee in the Senate, along with the Senate President Steve Sweeney. And from these steps, we know future generations will be better off when they take their last steps on campus during commencement. So thank you all very much. Tony, to you and your colleagues, thank you so much for hosting us so graciously. It is now my pleasure to introduce, as I say, a partner, a dear friend, Middlesex County's own, the Speaker of the General Assembly, Craig Coughlin.
Thank you, Governor. Thank you very much, everyone, for the warm welcome. It's nice. Always nice to be in New Brunswick. Always nice to be in Middlesex County, Governor. We love when you're here. Maybe you should think about moving. Middletown's okay. New Brunswick's better. Thank you, Tony, and thank you, Pete, and everyone at the Rutgers family for being so welcoming and for letting us be here today for this, what is really an important announcement. It's my privilege to be with the Governor and Secretary Bridges, along with my friends in labor, and of course, my extraordinary chair of the Higher Ed Committee in the Assembly, Mila J.C. 88,150 college students graduate annually in New Jersey, and with publicly supported education accounting for 75% of those bachelor's degrees awarded each and every year. In 2012, let's look at history for a little bit. In 2012, New Jersey's 59 colleges and universities identified over $6 billion of critical academic facilities and infrastructure needs. We didn't ignore that. Responding to that call for support, the legislature approved a referendum for the then November ballot seeking a public approval of $750 million in borrowing to fund those desperately needed projects. And congratulations to my friend and colleague Steve Sweeney for his leadership on that issue, and of course Senator Cunningham as well. The Building Our Future Bond Act was the largest referendum in the state history and was the first for higher education since 1988. In 2013, the fund supported 176 building projects on 46 college campuses and universities across the state. And in 2016, another 35 projects were funded, including among them were the $55 million to the Jersey Institute for Food, Nutrition, and Healthy Facilities on campus in Rutgers here in New Brunswick, something near and dear to my heart, which features a student health center, a children's nutrition center, and human performance, and financed with the help of $35 million grant from that bond fund. The bonds were also supported a new building at William Patterson University, boasting modern labs and equipment, rows of new desks, and bright study areas for $30 million. This $400 million that the governor is talking about today and advancing through application in the spring will be made available, going on to do great things and great lengths to build on those initial efforts. Leveraging the financial support from colleges will also maximize the impact of limited state dollars, helping those who want to stay close to home strengthen our competitiveness and attracting students to come home and stay here in New Jersey. You know, we have the best public education system in the country, the best. We were #1 last year, or this year we're #1 last year. We're always 1, 2, or 3, and we're pretty comfortable staying at #1. It's something we invest in heavily as a state and in municipalities, and pays a dividend. And I think it's something that we ought to really admire and appreciate and be committed to as we go forward, and we have. This governor and this legislature has continued to invest state dollars in public education. The interesting part of that, of course, is we produce so many good students that so many of them leave our state. We export more students than any state in the country for a number of reasons. Chief among them, I suspect, is because we have the best students. So let's keep them home and continue to open the doors of opportunity to students so they can be curious, explore those curiosities through further learning, and in necessary facilities is foundational to developing new ideas and fuel our economic advancement and growth. And we've invested in an investment program that the governor championed to bring people to New Jersey. We saw some of that at the hub as we move forward. And one of our, we have a number of diverse research facilities, including Rutgers, and now recently Kane University. And together their work impacts things like that, our health, the systems that we care to deliver, tackle environmental challenges, and others. Investing in capital projects and supporting the continuation of that kind of work will forward our state. Setting forth a priority to position New Jersey as both nationally and globally competitive, I applaud the administration's vision, Governor. Just a few weeks ago, as I mentioned, we stood at the heart of New Brunswick. It was a little warm that day, to celebrate, so we were outside, to celebrate the groundbreaking of the New Jersey Technological Innovation Hub. It's a special project, and one that we all have great hopes for in the future. So, as we move forward, this $400 million will be an investment giving New Jersey, its higher education institutions, more competitive edge for the long term in the future. Our economic success goes hand in hand with educational opportunity. And with this announcement, we continue to articulate the importance of developing educational opportunity. Of course, in building up hard infrastructure, the capital projects to come out of this will also be significant in their creation of good paying union jobs. And Kevin, I know that's music to your ears and to so many others. Again, thanks to Governor Murphy. I want to again congratulate Chairwoman Jacey for her leadership. And let me add my deepest thanks to the faculty, administrators, staff, and students of the 74 colleges and universities of our state today for their relentless pursuit and hard work through the COVID-19 pandemic. Together, we are not just talking about improving economic opportunities for communities across the state, but taking action. A decade later, the funds will build on progress made by the 201 projects that the 2012 Building Our Future Bond Act and $1.4 billion state award dollars supported. We move forward today. And thanks everybody for being here. This is an exciting announcement, and I'm happy to be with you all today. Thanks for your time.
Well said, Speaker, as always. I actually want to make 2 points. Kevin, we love the fact you're here. I also want to give a shout out to Barry Kushner, who's come all the way from Hudson County to be with us today as the head of the Hudson County Central Labor Council. Great to have you, Barry, with us too.
Rutgers grad.
What's that?
Rutgers grad.
And a Rutgers grad, excuse me. Rutgers grad. You can better yet. And the second point I want to make is sort of a more general one. When do you, and we've had this conversation, Craig, a lot, when do you incur debt and when you should not incur debt? And we've been one of the central premises of our administration, with great help from the legislature, is over the past 4 years, get our arms around the indebtedness that this state, either directly or through the various agencies and authorities, has, and we've brought that down dramatically, $50-something billion over the past 4 years. But when you've got long-term assets and historically low interest rates, Tony, you know this, that's the time that you should be willing to put debt on the books, to match long-term debt that matches long-lived assets, particularly with low interest rates. And that's a theme here that we're also, not only is this hopefully going to make our already world-class institutions of higher education even better and sharper, it will also take the burden off of students and their families, but it's also the smart thing to do. With that, we've got another great legislator with us. I mentioned it already. We met for lunch 7 years ago, and we spoke education for every second of that lunch, and I suspect it's been 90% of our conversation since. Please help me welcome the chair of the Assembly's Higher Ed Committee.
Well, first of all, I want you all to see I'm wearing my Rutgers mask.
Oh, you are?
Yes, yes. Very comfortable. I highly recommend it. So good morning, Governor Murphy, Secretary Bridges, Speaker Coughlin, and Mr. Eric Brophy of the EFA. I'm delighted to participate in today's announcement of the issuance of surplus bonding funds for our institutions of higher education. The Speaker mentioned this, the outward migration of students from New Jersey is a serious issue, and one that I've been hearing about for many, many years, beginning with my years on the Board of Education in South Orange, Maplewood. So it's kind of a two-sided sword, if you will, because yes, we have the best students, the most talented graduates, and so yes, they are wanted in other places. So this is, as the Speaker mentioned, we are traditionally the largest exporter of students in the United States. And it's so significant, it has a name, brain drain. And under Governor Murphy's leadership and in partnership with the legislature, we have worked to incent students to remain in New Jersey. The Community College Opportunity Grant Program and the Garden State Guarantee are two examples of our commitment to making college more affordable and finding ways to give students the ability to obtain a debt-free, I didn't say free, I said a debt-free degree. And on a personal note here, I have to say, I have 3 kids. They're all adults now, they're all married and giving me grandchildren, which is wonderful. 2 of them decided to leave the state to go to college. But they all came back to New Jersey because they wanted to raise their families in New Jersey because of the quality of life, and education was a major part of it. So I now have 3 of them, 3 of the 6 are in public school, and the other 3 are in preschool. And I'm also happy to say that out of the 3, 2 of them came back to New Jersey to earn graduate degrees, both at Rutgers. One an MBA and one an MD. So it's not the end of the world if they leave, but we want to give them reasons to come back as well as stay. So we've already talked about the money. I will skip that part. And I just want to say that we celebrate the partnership of OSHE and the EFA, the Educational Facilities Authority, that resulted in this bond issuance, which is critical if we are to continue to make higher education facilities in New Jersey world-class. Our students receive a world-class education here in New Jersey, beginning now more and more with pre-K. Thank you for the work that you've done there to support our efforts to increase free pre-K quality education to all of our students. And all of this is critical to making our higher education facilities world-class as well. Our students deserve this. We want them to have it. And all of you out there, and I know, where are you, Ed? Having a little one coming up, you look at them and you think, gosh, are they going to leave? I believe that under the progressive leadership of our governor, we are encouraging more and more of our best and brightest and our young families to stay here in New Jersey. And that is my goal. I have great partners in the Speaker the governor, and certainly with our new Secretary of Higher Education, who has been a great partner. I look forward to working with you. I look forward to seeing the facilities that are upgraded or developed under this money, and I thank you all for being here this morning.
Thank you, Mila. Thank you, Mila, for your leadership. Just one takeaway I've got, you've got a smart family.
They were educated here.
They were educated here, and they were smart enough.
Including my father.
I love that. And they were smart enough even if they left to come back, so that was great. Thank you for your leadership. He's been mentioned by several of us. It's an honor for me. We met when Brian was at the United Negro College Fund as one of its leaders. We sort of bonded, I'd say, almost instantly. We had each other at hello. It's my honor to introduce the Secretary of Higher Education, Dr. Brian Bridges.
No, it was over by the football stadium.
Okay, that's right.
But that's right. But thank you, Governor. I appreciate the opportunity to be here. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I appreciate the opportunity to join Governor Murphy and our Rutgers leaders and our legislative partners, as well as our higher education colleagues, to mark the next chapter in post-secondary excellence here in New Jersey. With $400 million in capital facilities funding that will be available to public and private institutions in late 2022, our commitment to transformative investment in our higher education sector is clear. The bond programs that Governor Murphy mentioned were established by the legislature to directly address funding for the preservation, renewal, and construction of facilities and equipment at our colleges and universities, and to ensure a regular financing mechanism is in place for this purpose. In the last joint issuance of these 4 bond programs, the state devoted over $300 million to Rutgers University alone in capital funding, which is evident as you explore this very extensive campus or set of campuses. And examples of funded projects on this campus alone include construction of a 162,000 square foot academic facility that's home to the Rutgers School of Arts and Sciences, enhancements of the Life Sciences Center with additional instructional and research space for the biology, chemistry, and neuroscience fields, which are critical fields in today's innovation economy, and construction of a 48,000 square foot addition to the William Levine Hall on the Bush campus that expanded the pharmacy school, another key area as we know we navigate this pandemic. And as the speaker noted, as Speaker Coughlin noted, most of the campuses across the state, from Ramapo in the north and every other campus in between down to Stockton in the south, all benefited from the last bond issuance. We are proud to make these funds available to invest in the physical infrastructure on our campuses and further support New Jersey's higher education sector in delivering high-quality educational opportunities and experiences that equip our students with in-demand skills necessary to compete in our innovation economy. We look forward to collaborating with our higher education leaders to ensure that these critical public investments pave the way for student success in New Jersey's future. We can't wait to see what our institutions do with this funding and what our students are able to accomplish through this multi-million-dollar investment. Thank you for the opportunity to be here with you today, and thank you, Governor Murphy, for the continued investment in higher education in New Jersey.
Well done, Brian. Well done, and thank you for everything. A couple more important speakers. I mentioned him earlier. He's the Executive Director of Nj Efa. Please help me welcome all the way in from Monmouth County, my friend Eric Brophy.
Thank you, Governor. So just to echo the speaker's words, it's a great day for New Jersey. I want to thank the Governor, the Speaker, Assemblywoman Jacey, and Rutgers University for inviting us today to talk about the opportunities the New Jersey higher education grant programs will provide to college students across the state. On behalf of Nj Efa, we're thrilled to be able to continue our close partnership with the Secretary's Office as we usher in the next cycle of critical infrastructure funding under the state's higher education grant programs. Historically, Nj Efa has had a central role in the administration of these capital grant programs since their creation in 1995. This role was expanded in 2012 through an agreement between us and the Secretary's Office, and now includes the development and administration of the application process, and we're happy to work closely with the Secretary's Office on these. Participation on the Secretary's Grant Application Evaluation Committee, are working with the State Treasurer on the issuance of the bonds to fund the grant programs, investment of the bond proceeds, and management of the requisition process and continuing program compliance by grantees. We're proud to participate in each of these steps throughout the grant process. To compete in the 21st century, students attending college require 21st century facilities. These 4 grant programs, the Capital Improvement Fund, the Facilities Trust Fund, the Technology Infrastructure Fund, and the Equipment Leasing Fund, offer New Jersey colleges and universities opportunities to provide students with state-of-the-art classrooms, labs, and equipment that feature technological and pedagogical advancements. Over the last decade, we've seen how successful these programs have been in supporting the construction of new academic facilities across the state. For example, in Jersey City, New Jersey City University was awarded $5.2 million to create the Nursing Education Center, which welcomed students in 2019, helping to train a new generation of nurses that are so critical today. In Camden County College received $1.2 million through the Equipment Leasing Fund, providing technological and instructional equipment for job training in their nursing, dental hygiene, manufacturing, robotics, and educational programs. In Hoboken, Stevens Institute of Technology received $17.4 million through the Capital Improvement Fund, which is the largest of the 4 grant programs, the Facilities Trust Fund, the Technology Infrastructure Fund, and the Equipment Leasing Fund to convert the Central King building into a hub for STEM education and research, and that was at NJIT. At Stevens, the $17.4 million from the Capital Improvement Fund was to help construct a new academic center containing 11 high-tech smart classrooms and state-of-the-art labs. These are just a fraction of the impact that New Jersey's higher education grant programs have had in helping prepare future healthcare professionals, researchers, engineers, educators, musicians, and others across the state of New Jersey. Despite these investments made nearly a decade ago, the need for continued investment in modern college facilities is ongoing. This is particularly true in the area of deferred maintenance, and I know the governor understands that, and continued investment in higher education is critically important. New Jersey's higher education sector provides billions in economic activity for the state, while offering the training and skills necessary to provide New Jersey businesses with a capable and talented workforce. We have seen how successful these programs have been in the past, and we very much look forward to seeing the impact this new round of funding will have on our state. Thank you for having us, Governor.
Thank you, Eric. Well done, man. And let it be known, and may I point out that Eric is the only one of us who, other than obviously Tony, who flew the red flag on the tie and handkerchief for Rutgers. We are the quintessential organized labor state. We wear that as a badge of honor. The door into the middle class in this state has been overwhelmingly through the union door, and we are unabashed in our, I know I speak for Craig and Mila and the rest of us, unabashed in our support of that, and our respect for that, and our intensity on investing in that very future going forward. So it's a real treat for our last speaker to hear from the president of the Middlesex County Building Trades, our dear friend, Kevin Dunham. Kevin.
Speaker, I do know that you like the 3 of us from Monmouth County very much, and I appreciate that. Thank you, Governor Murphy, for holding this event at New Brunswick and our state university today, and having the Middlesex County Building and Construction Trades Council represented. There was a half dozen of my colleagues here that truly helped make this council as strong as it is, and all the good work we do with the help of all the help we get from all of you. A stronger and fairer economy starts with organized labor, having a seat at the table, and ensuring that the workers are guaranteed good paying jobs and strong protections in the workplace. With today's announcement, not only will this investment create those good paying union jobs, it will also address the infrastructure needs to preserve and renew facilities at New Jersey's colleges and universities. With Governor Murphy's leadership, New Jersey continues to build an economy that helps all New Jerseyans get ahead. Thank you again, Governor, for always being a strong champion for New Jersey's working families. I and Middlesex County Building Trades look forward to working with you for the next 4 years. It's an honor and a pleasure, and thank you very much for having us today, and it's great to be here.
Thank you, Kevin, to you and your colleagues who are with us today. Thank you for everything you do. As we say, that's all she wrote. Tony, to you and Pete and the rest of Team Rutgers, thank you for, on behalf of Craig and Mila and Brian and Eric and Kevin and the rest of us, for hosting us so graciously. Thank you all folks so much. And Pete, Penn State.